Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the weekly SEO video series. In this episode, we're going to be learning how to perform topical keyword research for your website. And as a working example, I'm going to use one of my clients who's currently in the help desk niche as a working example. So specifically what we're going to learn is how to identify all the content topics that your competitors are targeting on their website, and then uncover all the keywords that they're using to drive organic traffic across those content topics at each stage of the sales funnel. Now, at the end of this video, you're going to have a repeatable process that you can use to uncover mountains of top, middle, and bottom funnel keywords that you can use to drive a lot of organic traffic. But on top of that, I'm going to show you how to take all of that keyword data and make it actionable by prioritizing topics and moving it into an actionable content calendar that you can then hand off to an internal team member or even outsource. And this is going to really help you scale that organic growth and visibility. Now, before I get started, I have to give a shout out to Ryan Stewart over at Webris. I've modeled some of these tactics off some of the information and templates that he's put out there. So I've included a link to his website below this video. If you haven't checked him out already, I highly recommend you do so. He's got some great content. All right, so without further ado, let's just jump right in.
Okay, I'm going to be using SEMrush for this tutorial. If you don't have an account, you can use the free 30-day trial link that I've included below this video, so you can follow along with the tutorial. Alright, so the first step in the process is to identify who your top organic competitors are. And one of the easiest ways to do this is just to head over to SEMrush and drop in the URL of your website, hit search, and then in the organic research report under the domain analytics tab, you can click competitors. And this is going to show you not only the keywords and search traffic that your site is getting, but also in the table here you can see all of your organic competitors, the number of keywords that are driving traffic to their site, as well as the number of keywords that both you and your competitor are ranking for. Now, I like to look for two specific things here in this table. Not only a large number of keywords that a site is ranking for, but also looking for a lot of overlap. So do they have a lot of common keywords with your website as well? If it's yes for both of those, then that's where I'll start adding them into my competitors tab here in the master keyword research sheet, as you can see that I've done here for the client. Now, as I scroll down, I can see here Groov HQ looks like a great one. They've got over 27,000 keywords driving traffic to their site. They have 176 common keywords with my client. So I know that this site's authoritative and it's going to provide a gold mine of topical keyword data that we can use to start building a keyword blueprint for the site. Now, I'm not going to go through every competitor in this tutorial. It will take me hours to do that. But I am going to walk through the process. For one of the competitors, we'll use Groov HQ to start. And then I'll show you what the final output looks like for the client. As you can see here in the topic keywords tab, I'll show you how we get to this and then confirm topics and move into a actionable content calendar. All right, so coming back over here, let's have a look at Groov HQ. We'll click on their search engine keywords. And this will bring us into the organic search positions report. We can see their organic traffic is trending up over time, which is a really good sign. This is a good target. Again, 27,000 keywords are driving traffic. And you can see in the table here, there's a bunch of great metrics along with each keyword: position, volume, difficulty, CPC, the URL attached to that keyword, as well as traffic percentage, trends, and a bunch of other great metrics that we can look at. Now, before I export this data so that we can start filtering it and making it actionable, I always like to add in a few filters. The first one I'll do is excluding any keywords with a position greater than 20. This usually helps eliminate a bunch of junk. And then another one is I like to exclude any keywords that have a volume less than 40. Sometimes I don't add this if we're in a smaller niche where the keyword sets aren't as large, but because these guys have over 27,000 keywords, I'll add in that filter just to wean out more results and clean up the list a little bit more. Another one I like to do is excluding keywords containing branded keywords. And then finally, if you move through this list and start scanning it and you notice that there's keywords that are ranking from subdomains like doc.groovhq, help.groovhq, resources.groovhq, and you notice that those keywords aren't really relevant to your business or target audience. I would also add in some exclusion rules, so to exclude URL containing, and then I would put in the subdomain in there to get rid of those. But for now, in speed's sake, I'm not going to go through and add in those subdomains right now. We'll just work off of these 3 filters. We'll apply those to the keyword set. And typically this will remove a ton of keywords, but maybe not in this case since I haven't done the subdomains. But yeah, you can see I've still managed to remove over 1,000. Typically you will probably remove 20 or 30% of the keywords using those filters. So very, very helpful to clean up the data before we export it. So once those are in place, come over here to the export tab in SEMrush. Make sure export all is checked. You can choose CSV. I like to do Excel. Just click save, and then that's going to download the keyword data right away. Wait for that to load. Here, yeah, once it's loaded, you can see here that the columns map directly with the ones that are displayed in SEMrush. Once the keyword data has been exported, you will see that the columns here for the data map exactly with that which is displayed in SEMrush. Now, quickly, we'll just bold these, and we will also we'll just freeze the top row as well, just so we can view the data a little bit easier. Okay, cool. So we've got a bunch of keyword data here now. So what we want to do is it's still a little bit messy, so let's clean it up a little bit more. Although all these metrics are really helpful, some we don't really need for this specific process. So we'll delete previous position. We'll keep the volume, difficulty, CPC, URL, and then we'll get rid of this data off to the right here. Great, so now it's starting to look a little bit cleaner. The next step is we'll come over to the URL section, and we'll sort this from in ascending order. And then you can see here that what that does is it goes and it takes all of the keywords and groups them neatly by URL into little topic groups. And this is really, really helpful for the rest of the keyword research process. And then what I like to do is I like to add in a few more column headers here. I'll show you, this will all make sense as we move further into the tutorial, but theme, topic, yes, no, this is going to be where we collaborate with the client to help create a short list from all this data. Now, it really just adds context. So what we're going to do here, just looking at these keywords, I can instantly see that there are a bunch of subdomains in here that are returning really irrelevant keywords. Again, we could have excluded these in the initial step, but it's not too big of a deal now to just go through, and we'll just really, really quickly delete any of the subdomains that are returning those irrelevant keywords. So if I just scroll all the way down here, you can see there's a bunch of them. So, we can really quickly clean up this keyword set right now. All right, so now we're back down to the home page. So I'm just going to get rid of all of these subdomains. All right, cool. Now we're left with the home page. Typically, I don't pay a ton of attention to it. I more just look for broader overarching themes. You can see here like online help desk, everything's around help desk software. So that's kind of like the broad overarching theme of this site, which is extremely relevant and targeted to my client. All right, so when we go through this, what we do now is this is where kind of the manual work begins. We're going to start scanning through the keyword sets and finding any topical areas that fit in with our target audience or business. So I'm not going to go through every single one here, but I'll do a few working examples just so you can see what I mean. So I particularly look at the URL column here, and I just try and look for topics out of those URLs that ring a bell. Now GroovHQ is targeting some broader topics that aren't super relevant to my client, so I can just quickly scan through those and delete it to keep cleaning up the list. But here's one here, building a remote support team. This is an example of a broad overarching theme would be customer support. And then the topic would be building a remote support team. And then once I've assigned the theme and topic, I'll drag them down here. And then to make this visually easier to scan as we're going through, what I like to do is just come in and color code each topical group. And then I'll just continue moving through. I'll go through until I find other topics that are super relevant to the client and the business. So I'll just keep scanning through, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then, a lot of these are not super relevant. This one is right here. So I'm going to get rid of all of those. But you can see how quickly I can scan through large keyword sets now just by looking at topical focus. So again, here's another one around customer support, but this time it's remote support tools. So I could write a post on this and feature my client. And since help desk software is going to be, a very helpful piece of software for the remote teams to use, so I can pitch the value there. And again, I just color code it into the topic. And I can just keep moving through here. I can see just loads and loads and loads of topics around customer support, customer support ideas, customer attention strategies. So this was another, when I was doing this for the client, lifecycle marketing was a broad theme. And, customer retention strategies could be a topic that falls under that theme. So I'll just add that in. And, similar process here, I'll just drag this down. One thing I like to also do as I'm going through this process is I like to look through the keywords as I'm going. And if there's junk in there, I'll usually eliminate those as I go too. But, I would just highlight all the way down. Customer support email templates is another example. Customer support job description, customer support metrics, phrases, customer service questions, phrases to avoid, statistics, techniques, exercises, just loads of top of the funnel customer support informational keywords. But you'll notice as you go through and you look at your competitors, you'll get a lot of informational, some middle funnel content, how to deal with angry customers, how to fire a bad customer, that's interesting, how to handle angry customers on Twitter, all these types of things that this particular client's audience may be searching for, how to reduce customer churn. These are great topical things to go after, but eventually you're going to start hitting these more middle bottom funnel commercial intent product pages. So for example, ticketing system, this is a broad theme of help desk software, and the topic under that would be ticketing system. This is a great one. So I will drop this down, and if you're working on a brand new site, this can really help inform your information architecture as well as the product pages that you build out. So I'll go through and repeat that process. I'll eliminate any ones that aren't relevant, and then I'll group them into color-coded topics with themes and topics as well. And then I'll do this for about 5 to 10 competitors, and then what you will be left with is a topical keyword tab that looks like this. You can see I've formatted it a little bit, but essentially the same headlines, or same column headings. And all I've done is I've just moved over that keyword data from those exports for a bunch of our competitors. So you can see here it's transitioning through. And I've just grouped them, color coded them. And what I then do is once this is all aggregated in here, I ask the client to move through and flag any topics that they really like with an X. And as you can see, the client's gone through here and started flagging the topics. Once that step's complete, I then move them into the Confirm Topics tab. And in here, this is where we really, this is really a short list of keyword topics that we can then use as a seed keyword list that we can expand keyword research going forward. And we can also, what I like to do in here is this is where we do a feasibility scan. So we look at volume, competition, funnel stage, as well as whether we need to create new, improved, or consolidate existing content for each of these topics. And then I like to add in any notes along the way in this column. So as a real quick example, you can see here I've pulled out, help desk automation here. I've just got the theme, topic, and the main target keywords from the topical keywords tab here. Drop those in, and now I have a volume. So what I do is I take the keywords that are listed in here, and I come back over to the topical keyword tab, and I just have a look at the volume around the keywords that are left under the topic. If there's several in there that add up to 300 to 500 typically, or over 100, just depends on the niche, then I'll just quickly flag that as a yes. The next thing I look at is competition. But before we look at competition, we need to get a benchmark really. I use Ahrefs, so you can just drop in your domain into Ahrefs here with a free plan, and I can see the client here has a 62 domain rating. That's just based off of the number and quality of links really that they have. And then what I do is I will go out and I will start searching for these keywords using the Ahrefs Chrome extension. And that's going to tell me the domain rating of all of the websites currently ranking on the first page. So I can see here there's other sites, 61, 58, 64, 59. If they fall within about 5 plus or minus 5 domain rating points of my site, then I start to feel pretty confident. I also look at the number of referring domains pointing to each page, because sometimes you can have a lower authority site, but if they have a ton of referring domains pointing to the actual page, it can be really competitive. But I can see here 5, 0, 2, 0, these pages don't really have a lot of referring domains pointing to them. So I'm starting to feel pretty confident that I can go after this. The next thing I look at is, the number of ads. If there's a lot of ads, it can tell me that there's a lot of commercial intent behind that keyword, which may mean it'll be more competitive, but, it could be a money keyword too. I also look, are the pages product pages? Are they blog posts? Is there video content? Just like what type of content ranks here? This is really going to guide us when we move into the content calendar stage. So any notes from there, I usually just add into the notes tab here. So, just so we can keep moving on, let's just say I've looked at that and I determine yes. Now I look through and I determine what funnel stage is it at. Is it top funnel informational? Is it middle funnel? Are people are looking for when they're in the consideration or evaluation stage, or is it bottom of the funnel content when they're really close to buying with that commercial intent? And then this is really helpful because once you've gone through and created this full list of confirmed topics, you can start to quickly identify if there are gaps in your funnel. Maybe you've got a lot of top funnel content but not much middle funnel, so you can really identify quickly where you need to start filling those gaps. And then finally, I look at, does the client already have a piece of content targeting this topic? If they don't, then I just flag it as new. I need to create some new content for it. Maybe they do have a piece of content like here around help desk automation, but maybe that it's really thin and I can improve it and give it a much better chance of ranking. Or maybe that they have 2 pieces of content on their calendar on their website that are competing for the same keyword, that I can consolidate those 2 pieces, consolidate the authority, and again give it a better chance of ranking. So I'll just flag whether or not I need to create a new piece, improve an existing one, or consolidate 2 existing pieces of content. Now once I've gone through that, anything in this confirmed topics list that I've said, yes, it has enough volume, yes, we can compete, I then move into the content calendar stage. Now this is pretty self-explanatory, basically status, draft date, live date that's due, the funnel stage, theme, topic, keywords, that's all been brought over from the confirmed topics. And then I provide an estimated search volume for the keywords that are within that topic, low, medium, or high competition, and then I start moving into more of the content piece where identify what types of content do I need: a long form guide, infographic, is it a product page, is it a review post, and then what medium is it? Is it a blog post? Is it a video? Like what content types and medium do I need or am I going to use based off of the research I've done up to this point? Give it a title. Estimated word range to inform writers, assign an author, a draft link, so this can be like to a Google Doc, just so the client can always check in and see the status of where things are at. And then finally, I outline a high-level promotional strategy where it essentially outlines what I will be doing to try and seed some of that initial, whether it's links, social engagement, or traffic, just to give it a little bit of an authority boost right away immediately after publishing. So I'll outline that and I'll include links to any relevant templates or process documents that we've built internally. And then once you've gone through that whole process, you can see that going all the way from mining topics and keywords to finding a short list of those and mapping them to the funnel, ones that actually have enough volume you can realistically compete for. You then move those into the content calendar where you add in some more context and directions, so you can then outsource this to either an internal team member or even to an external content writer. And if you get multiple people working off of this document, you can always ensure that you're writing content that goes after topics and keywords that have volume that you can rank for, and it's going to really help you scale your organic growth and visibility. All right, so that's the end of the tutorial. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it around, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Really appreciate it. So until the next video, when we talk about expanding the keyword set, I'll talk to you then. See ya.